All right, this is the next episode of True Wrestling Fans Discussions, continuing our main event review series. This is going to be the main event 2, which is obviously a spinoff of Saturday night's main event. So I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank, man. Let's jump right into it. And they only have these when shit has hit the fan.
Oh, yeah, yeah. This was
The
live because
first,
this stuff was on Friday
yes.
night, and it was at an earlier time slot than
The
Saturday
first,
night's main event. Yep.
obviously, the first one was Hogan and Andre. So now, we've got some stuff to take care of here. You've got the Mega Powers versus the Twin Towers in this one,
This had
and
been building up. This had
oh
been
yeah,
building up since
the
that
fall,
beating that Boss Man gave Hogan in the
yeah, on the
fall
Brother
on the
Love
Brother
show,
Love
yeah.
show. Yeah,
hmm
been brewing for a while. So
And this had an 11.6 rating, and just shy of the 20 million viewers watched this live that
yep,
night.
I was one of them.
Yes, I was too. February 3rd, 1989, from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Let me just run down real quick. There was only two matches televised for
Right, we
this,
only
but
got to see two.
they had an entire card for
Mm.
this. You had Andre the Giant defeated Jake the Snake Roberts. The Fabulous Rougeaus defeated the Hart Foundation. Probably not the. Oh well, now I see why. Brother Love was the guest referee. You had the Ultimate Warrior defending the Intercontinental Championship successfully against Greg the Hammer Valentine. You had Demolition successfully defend the tag titles against the Powers of Pain. They won by disqualification. The Brainbusters had defeated the Rockers, and that would be a start of a tremendous feud between those two.
Mm-hmm.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake wrestled Mr. Perfect to a double disqualification. And Hacksaw Jim Duggan defeated Dino Bravo. So that all led up to the last two matches of the night, which were televised. And the Twin Towers versus the Mega Powers, this would be the night that it blew up.
Mm-hmm.
This was unbelievable, man. And I actually felt for Elizabeth because, first of all, get Elizabeth a sandwich, because when she got hit and fell down and you could see her spine and everything, I mean, my God, that girl looked like she was 90 pounds.
Yeah, poor girl.
And
But
she took quite a hit. And I don't know about you, but it kind of looked like a mannequin doll almost after she
yeah,
got hit. But man, that hit that she took, I mean,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. But look how I like the whole setup. How Hogan and Macho Man obviously come out to the ring to the Mega Powers. The Mega Powers Hogan's theme, right?
Naturally.
So and Ventura's talking about Hogan hogging the spotlight. I think because he wanted to go in first. I think that's what it was. And they were talking about well, Hogan's got the power, but Macho Man has the speed. It was a good match, because I like the Twin Towers, man. Akeem and Boss Man. Say what you want to say about the Akeem gimmick, but he was funny, man. I used to
tag team wise, they were good.
I used to when he's doing that dance. He's always, even in the promos, he's doing a promo. He's talking. He's doing a dance.
And he's even talking like a brother.
Yeah,
he's trying to talk like
Slickster was their manager. It was great. It was great stuff. And those guys could work too. So the match was solid.
Yes.
And of course we know what ends up happening, where Macho Man gets thrown out of the ring and then bumps Elizabeth, and then
badly
Hogan comes to her rescue.
Oh yeah, and then Savage is trying to where you at here, and
Hogan carries her. He leaves her for dead. Leaves Macho Man for dead.
I'm watching this now, and I'm like, now I see why he turned on.
Yeah. So
because if I'm your partner, I'm gonna freaking go have a problem with this.
So this is infamous too, though. They don't have it on the network, obviously, because they're gonna edit it. But I remember the live one, and the clip is floating around there somewhere. Where Hogan doesn't realize that they're actually on live, and he's like, "What's the time?" And that's Carney speak for like, "What's the time?" Like the countdown, because he didn't hear the countdown that they were gonna go live. He's thinking they're not live yet, so that actually aired where Hogan says that. You see Brutus the Bar Beefcake walking around in the background, which he's supposed to come in later to help Hogan when Macho Man
he
attacks him.
Mm-hmm.
This is all edited out. You don't see it, but on the live broadcast, it was there. So it's just a little side note. It's pretty funny.
Well, it's funny how he's taking Elizabeth to the back, and you see the Hart Foundation in the background, and later on, Hogan trying to get to Savage takes out Brett, Anvil, and Shawn. Trying to get to him. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah. But so he's backstage. He's like, Elizabeth, and he's like, there's an extended clip too online because it's really bad. Hogan's like, the acting. It's all. I mean, back then it was
on
fun.
her deathbed.
Yeah, and she tells him to go back to help Randy. And then he's like, oh, okay. And he comes out, he starts pounding on the mat. Meanwhile, this guy's been getting a beating.
Seriously.
So
For a good 15 minutes.
right. Eventually, Macho Man's able to fight them off.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes to the corner and
smacks him.
He had that coming.
Jumps out of the ring, points at him like, hey, And then he's standing there in the rampway, and you see the fans telling him go back.
You know what I want to...
And he goes back, but grabs his belt.
You know what I want to mention too? Did you catch that that botch with Akeem when they're beat? It's when Hulk Hogan first comes back out to help, but Randy's still fighting Bossman and Akeem, and
he falls through the rope.
Yeah, and Bossman and Akeem go to the ropes, and I guess because they weigh so much, I guess the ropes were pushed down. He does a flip outside of the ring.
How he didn't get hurt?
How he didn't? Nobody's down for a while, and typical Hogan. Hogan just looks at him like,
yeah, all right,
whatever.
I'm Hogan.
That was a bad fall.
It's funny,
but thank God he was all right.
I actually did a double take on it, and then because the crowd was like, not
they're
laughing.
They're like, oh, funny stuff.
They think it's a botch, but it is. But luckily, it wasn't serious.
It looked bad when it happened
because it looked like he landed on his head.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. So Macho Man gets the hell out of there after he grabs his belt. He leaves Hogan.
Now leaves Hogan for dead. Unfortunately, though, Hogan gets the victory for
You know what's funny too? That I think at first I could be wrong about this because the referee was talking to Macho Man. I think at first he thinks Macho Man's still legal, but then Macho Man's telling him basically like he slapped. He's saying something. I'm assuming he's saying that he slapped him and that was a tag.
Yeah.
Remember, Macho Man was the legal guy and he slaps Hogan. So I think he's trying to tell him that Hogan's the legal man.
I slapped him and I tagged him.
Right. I think I could be wrong, but Hogan ends up winning the match, obviously.
Naturally.
Goes to
the back to find out what's going on.
Yeah.
And then this is where one of the best promos
but how about before
they ever did.
Yeah, but how about before Hogan gets there, Macho Man is berating Elizabeth. And he's like, I'm not number 3 in the Mega Powers. I'm number 1. I'm the champion.
And he's right.
Yeah, he is right. He's just going off on her, and he's like, "Oh, this is his fault that you're in the position that you're in." Which it's debatable, but eventually Hogan makes his way into the locker room,
and this is where he goes, "You never stepped to me as a man. For the belt. You want to face me for the belt? I'll beat you 1, 2, 3, no problem."
Yep.
This is where all of a sudden, this is coming out, and he tells, Elizabeth, talk some sense into him. But before that, he's putting his hand. He goes, "Don't touch me."
Yeah.
Like he's trying not to get
touch me, Macho Man. Don't touch me. Yeah.
And then when he tells her, talk some sense to him, then he gets the shot with the belt.
No, before that, when he tells him about, the belt is one thing, but you got lust in your eyes for Elizabeth.
Yes.
Yeah.
The famous line we've always used.
Lust. And he did have lust in his eyes.
Obviously,
and then finally, like you just said, Macho Man blasts him with the belt, and he had that coming. As a Hulkamaniac back then, I was like, "No, Randy, no." But now
I'm like, "Go, Randy, go!"
I'm like, good, man. He had that coming, man. He did have lust in his eyes, and he left him for dead, man.
Exactly.
He left Macho Man for dead against these two giants.
Mm-hmm.
So he deserved the beating that he got.
Not to mention, he was made sure that he was the shadow over Savage for an entire year as a WWE champion.
Always.
And then of course you get Beefcake that comes in there. Beefcake gets a beat.
And then he gets his ass whipped too. Good for him. Good for him.
He just comes out of nowhere and Savage like, "Get the hell out of here."
Right. And then he's like, "Get him out of here." Yeah.
What business you got in here?
Then after he gets beat up, he's still there, and he's like, "Get him out of here." What's funny? And I don't believe this is Hogan. Hogan's a known liar. Hogan said that when Macho Man hit him with the belt, he got a concussion.
Yeah, okay. How many times has Hogan been hit with a belt? Now you get a concussion?
I don't know.
Come on. But, I mean, he was selling the ice pack on the head, and then all of a sudden he's starting to hulk up, and he's irate and everything. And this is what I mentioned before. He's going through looking for Randy. And he takes out Anvil. He takes out Brett. He takes out. Well, because
he was like all messed. He was like all messed up for a while, and then he's like, Randy. Then he goes looking for him, and I'm like, dude, why didn't you handle your business when he was there? Now you want to act tough.
Exactly.
When he's
gone.
it's like somebody's gonna get into a fight and then they wait for people to crowd to break them up and then they want to act like, oh, hold me back, you know, that like
Yeah,
that type of thing.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
And the whole time now I'm thinking, okay, Randy technically should be the one that's the fan favorite in this, and Hogan should be the heel, but it's the
no,
other way
yeah.
around. Now that the way we see it now, back then we're like, kick his ass, Hulk, go get him.
Well, with the commentary too, they made sure Vince McMahon was saying how Randy was wrong and all this other stuff, and Ventura was the one that was saying Macho Man
He's
was right.
defending him.
Right, but I'm like, no, Macho Man's right, dude.
It's the other way around.
Yeah, exactly.
For an entire, we've said this, for an entire year, they made sure that they had Hulk Hogan in the limelight with Savage when he didn't need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And this rift started technically at SummerSlam. Because you could even, when Hogan's picking up Elizabeth and whatever, Savage is looking at him with crazy eyes. I mean,
he like slapped or tapped Elizabeth's ass too, like by accident. I don't think it was by accident. I think it was on purpose.
I don't think it was by accident either.
Yeah,
and then not to mention, you know, on that Saturday Night Main Event where when he fought Andre, where he said Hogan beat Andre, I could beat Andre. Now you're trying to compare yourself and do what the previous champ did. So you know this is coming.
Yeah. Great setup, though. It's a great setup.
Yeah, this was
tremendous.
Awesome,
I think this is the best. I think this is
awesome storytelling from 88
this is
to 89.
this is probably the best storyline I think they've ever had. I think it's up
top
there.
5, definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
And even after the fact, even going after WrestleMania with Zeus and Sherry, SummerSlam.
But this was the peak of it, though. But this was the peak of it. It was still good after, but this was like the Mega Powers exploded. It was just tremendous storytelling.
This is Savage knowing, oh shit, I'm losing my belt now.
Yep.
Hogan wants the belt back.
And
you had a year with it, man, and you were great at it. And unfortunately, the only reason why he became a 2-time champ is because Hogan was exiting WWE at WrestleMania, and they, you know, whatever the story behind the Flair Hogan match that never was, then Savage gets put in there. Otherwise, Savage doesn't get another shot at the belt.
I know.
Unfortunately, and I always thought that was wrong.
I agree.
He was a great champion. He held in 1988. Besides Hogan, Savage was an awesome champion.
Oh yeah, no question. Hulkamania was still hot at the time too. So I mean, I get it business wise. I understand.
But the story was just phenomenal, telling it from beginning to end.
That was great.
It was just amazing, and this was just the best part of the entire thing.
Oh yeah. This is it. This is the moment. I remember this vividly. Like I remember watching this. I remember where I was watching this. You know, and just I couldn't believe the Mega Powers broke up. I was just like,
as a kid, you're
a kid. You're like, no, it can't be.
Now you're just like, oh, this is typical Hogan with a friend.
Yeah. It's a pattern with him and partners or tag team friends.
And on Saturday Night Main Event,
this is a pattern with this guy. At some point you gotta look in the mirror and realize that you might be the problem.
Yeah, exactly. You're the common denominator.
Right.
And at the same time, I'm going, I ain't teaming with you.
Right. Yeah.
But in any event, and by the way, there was another match after.
There was, yes.
Unfortunately,
right.
This kind of got overshadowed.
Yeah, it did.
Everybody was still talking about it. It was the Mighty Hercules versus the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
There's still the ongoing thing about him. He wanted him to be a slave. He bought the contract, and you know what's fun? I mean, what's funny? You know, I always like the $1 Million Man in his green suit, man. He did. I don't think that one. Yeah, I don't think he used it that much. I remember it was more the black, right? And then later on the white or silver.
Yeah, I like the white one, but
the
I
green
love
was
that
cool.
green one.
It always reminds me of the toy. It reminds me of the toy and I think the wrestling buddy had the green.
Yeah.
He had the green suit on. I like the green. Yeah.
The green was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
But again, you know, Ted DiBiase, I've said it, he was one of my favorite heels back then. You know, I always.
No, he's great. He's one of the greatest heels ever. Yeah. He's one of the greatest heels ever.
Definitely.
There's no doubt. There's no question.
And that's a guy that could never be a fan favorite. Never.
No.
Because it just wouldn't work. But Ted DiBiase does beat Hercules in this match. This feud is now kind of gone away. It's kind of a feud that really never was.
Yeah.
But I think, honestly, in this, if you wanted to move Hercules as a fan favorite, and this was the storyline to do it, he needed to win this match.
He did. I didn't think he worked for whatever reason, he didn't work as a fan favorite. I think he was always a better heel.
Yeah.
Maybe because Hercules wasn't that good on the mic. So he was just
that's true.
He was a better heel because he had to kind of talk less and just be
menacing. First,
just be menacing.
Slick, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he was a very good heel.
I mean,
I'm sorry,
babyface.
babyface. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He
No,
was.
yeah, I agree. He was a better heel than anything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we've documented many times how Power and Glory was very
Mhm.
underrated, not given their fair share,
I think you know what I think
unfortunately.
happened.
So
Now that I think about it, I think what happened was the Nasty Boys came in. I think, and the Nasty Boys kind of took. I think if I could be getting my timelines wrong, but I think when Power and Glory were getting their push, I think the Nasty
yeah,
Boys
Nasty
come in,
Boys had just arrived.
and then they kind of just throw Power and Glory to the side, which was a shame because I felt like they were on their way.
Yeah, I never understood why the Nasty Boys automatically got a tag
It's
title
because
shot.
they had a name and they came over from WCW, and so shame
Whatever.
for Hercules.
And they obviously they were the placeholders from going from the Hart Foundation to the Legion of
Yeah,
Doom,
yeah,
which we would have rather seen Hart Foundation versus the Legion of Doom. But in
wasn't
any
good.
event,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, but
So
this is a great main event, man. It was short,
definitely,
right? But it was still for storytelling purposes, man.
it was awesome.
this is some great stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, later on, the main event was just kind of used, and to me, it was lackluster
It
going
was. It's
forward
like
because
it becomes like a glorified house show.
they have three more after this, and
Yeah.
two, and the next one was pretty good, but then the last two were just on top of each other, and it didn't have the same flair to it.
No, 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 no. I agree.
Unfortunately, like if you're having this, then you've got feuds that are erupting
Yeah.
and need to be on
Yeah,
this
yeah.
show.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. This is the peak
But
of it,
yeah,
you know.
oh yeah,
But all right, well, you guys make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
take care.